stoked because we're going to be making honey fermented garlic using raw, super healthy local honey and organic, locally grown garlic. So why we're making this today, if you've never heard of it, is because it is an incredible, both of these things individually, both your raw honey and organic garlic are both superfoods. They both have a strong antiviral properties, they aid in heart health, the list goes on and on. But what our big focus is right now is not only gut health, but especially our immune system, which resides largely in the gut. But with all the germs out there and all the sickness and all the things that everybody's talking about, we want to keep our immune systems as strong as we can. You're probably familiar with things like elderberry syrup, but now what we're doing in the peak of this whole coronavirus outbreak is that we're seeing a big shortage and exponential prices on things like elderberries or even elderberry syrups or all that stuff. So this is a great superfood that you can make, or kind of a super tincture, I guess, of garlic and honey that can have a really, really strong impact. Do remember, don't give it to anybody under 1 year old. Raw honey should never be given to babies, and do some research on your area and finding the best stuff. But what you first want to do is find raw honey that's not been pasteurized. A lot of the stuff you find in stores has been heated way too high to maintain any of its antiviral or healthy microbial properties. So if you can buy it locally from a trusted source, a farmer, farmer's market or something, that's going to be ideal. You can find some raw honey at like Costco and stuff like that, and you'll know because if it gets too cold, you'll see, or as time goes on and it ages, it can start to crystallize, whereas the commercially processed stuff never will. And if you wonder if yours is quality honey or not, put it on your finger. If it kind of runs off, then it's not the good stuff. It should stick and hold. It should be pretty thick. Okay, so we got ourselves some great local stuff. In fact, we got 4 gallons that we just chiseled out of a box or a bucket today, and so we've done a lot of work to get this part prepared. We got this awesome locally grown garlic. I think it was raised around like raspberry fields, so we're super stoked about that. So we went ahead, you want some of these little jars, and remember that cleanliness is a big deal. So just hand washing soap and water, hot water, boil your jars, whatever, make sure they are incredibly dry. Honey can keep for thousands and thousands of years if it's kept at the right conditions. But if any kind of moisture gets in it, then it can start, it can deteriorate the honey and it can cause things to grow in it. Well, today we're gonna purposefully add moisture to it through garlic, but we're gonna do it in a way to cause a fermentation. So I'm gonna show you. So I've already done some of the chopping for you, but what you'll wanna do, we're just gonna do a little one here because we don't need to add very much more garlic, but get as organic as possible of garlic, because the last thing you want a lot of garlic, if it's not locally grown or truly organically grown, it's sprayed with pesticides to reduce the sprouting tendency that it can have. So you don't want that to happen. So one great way is to, you'll see what I'm doing here. If you want to even zoom in on me. So here's your whole head of garlic. These are cloves. These are some small jars. I think these were like 8 to 12, I think 8-ounce jars we got. So you'll take your clove here and then you'll just smash it. It's called bruising, but it's also going to, it's not only going to open up, it's not only going to easily get the wrapper, kind of the shell off of it more easy, but it's also going to open up and start a lot of activity in the garlic, helping the fermentation process to be quicker. So you want to just put your knife flat. If you don't already know how to do this, tap it, smash it. You don't want to mutilate it. And then the peel should come right off, and it's kind of broken like that. That's just how you want to do it. And I usually like cut that little hard part and just add it. Who needs some more here? I'm gonna cut just one more if you didn't see that, and then show you the rest. This is super, super easy. You can eat these cloves. You know, you can eat the cloves one by one. You can even eat some of the honey that's been fermented. The honey's gonna take on a completely different taste once it's been fermented. It's gonna be more bitter, but it's gonna do the job. And this is amazing for, if you can OD on this just a little bit if you are already sick, if you already have a bug, and it'll speed up the recovery process, or you can use it sparingly as a preventative to getting sick. Like I said, always do your research. Make sure it's not going to interact with any medications or anything. It's been shown to help blood pressure and heart health and all kinds of things. So it really is powerful. I say for me personally, like 1 clove a day works a lot of magic. So next we're gonna add our honey. Just wanna make sure that all of the cloves are covered. Give it a little room. That might be a little full, but you don't want it to be too full so it has some room for some of this stuff to kind of expand. I might need to add some more later, we'll see. I'm gonna troubleshoot this, but anyways, you just wanna make sure all of your honey is covered, or all of your cloves, sorry, your garlic is covered. And you can do this, you can put the lid on and then kind of turn it back and forth. What you're gonna do though is you're gonna, let it settle first, and then you can see if you need to add more. The garlic is naturally gonna try and float to the top. And so what you do is you just put it in a cool place like a cupboard and just turn it once a day. So just turn it over once a day and burp it. Because during the fermentation process, it's going to, sorry, our kids are home with me. It's going to produce that, it's gonna ferment and it's gonna create pressure. So if you can just take it, if you can burp it a little bit, let some of that pressure out while it's going through that process, the moisture of the garlic is going to cause the honey to become much thinner and more runnier. And if you just turn it once a day to make sure that it all stays submerged, then you can, sorry, these are our kids. To turn it once a day, make sure it all stays submerged, burp that stuff out, and when it settles, it should be nice and thin, and you shouldn't have to do that anymore, and it can store for a super long time. Do look up how long it should store in your area. So that's it. Let me know how your recipes goes. You can find out more on HWCAcoach.com about gut health certifications or our personal gut health programs, and let us know what you think.